Hey fans, I'm Dustin Davis, and I'll update you on everything happening in Miami. The Dolphins organization stands at a crossroads. A new general manager will soon walk through the doors, inheriting a roster that demands tough choices and a payroll that leaves little room for error. What began as a season of promise has become a referendum on every major decision made over the past 2 years. Miami's front office already made its first significant move by parting with Chris Grier earlier this year, signaling that nothing is untouchable. Now the real work begins, evaluating which expensive veterans deserve to stay, which positions need immediate reinforcement, and whether the current coaching structure can deliver what ownership demands. The path forward requires surgical precision in an environment where one miscalculation can derail an entire rebuild. Every contract will be placed under the microscope. Every relationship between player and organization will be tested. That being said, let's analyze decisions and moves that will be crucial for the Dolphins. Before we dive in, I have a quick request. If you find value in our content, please give us a like. It's a small gesture, but it really helps. Thanks for being awesome. The conclusion of the 2025 campaign triggers a comprehensive roster evaluation for the Dolphins, one made necessary by organizational changes that began months ago. Miami's incoming general manager faces immediate pressure to rationalize spending and clarify long-term direction across every position group. Bradley Chubb sits squarely in the middle of that scrutiny. His substantial salary demands attention, yet his contributions on the field throughout the season create a more complex equation than simple dollar figures suggest. Throughout 2025, Chubb delivered consistent production even as Miami struggled through a brutal 1-8 stretch. While teammates faltered, he maintained elite-level play and emerged as one of the few reliable performers during the team's darkest moments. His sustained excellence as the season progressed has made the prospect of releasing him far more complicated than it appeared months ago. Chubb's deal extends through 2 more seasons before reaching a voidable year in 2028. Last offseason, he agreed to reduce his salary to help Miami navigate cap constraints. Expecting another voluntary pay reduction seems unreasonable. The Dolphins could pursue a restructure, but the simplest approach might involve leaving his contract unchanged. His 2026 cap hit would approach $31 million. Releasing him before June 1 would generate approximately $23 million in dead money, while producing only $7 million in cap relief. A post-June 1 designation would shift those numbers to roughly $10 million in dead cap and $20 million saved. Chubb's contract represents only part of the analysis. His 6.5 sacks this season pair with vocal leadership both during games and in the locker room. Finding a replacement who can match his pass rush effectiveness while also providing that leadership presence presents a significant challenge, particularly as the organization navigates new front office leadership and roster uncertainty. Miami's most sensible path forward likely involves negotiating a restructure that reduces the immediate cap impact by pushing guaranteed money into later voidable years. This approach essentially defers costs to create flexibility now. While critics might dismiss it as accounting gimmickry, in common parlance, an intelligently structured deal would keep Chubb in uniform while simultaneously providing the cap space Miami needs to address other pressing roster requirements. In another development, the Dolphins may already be planning how to replace one of their biggest offensive weapons through the draft. Hill's serious injury this season has fundamentally changed Miami's offseason planning, transforming his potential departure from theoretical to probable, despite contract obligations that technically extend further. Should the Dolphins choose to move forward without him, they'll gain both salary cap relief and the opportunity to reimagine their receiving core through the draft. One possibility gaining traction, selecting a new WR1 at the 12th overall pick to form a long-term partnership with Jalen Waddle. CBS Sports analyst Josh Edwards recently published a mock draft that places Arizona State's Jordan Tyson in Miami, offering a blueprint for that transition. Edwards' mock draft scenario from CBS Sports positions the Dolphins to select a receiver at the 12th overall pick, strengthening their passing attack. His projection assumes Hill will no longer be part of the roster, which justifies prioritizing the position early and makes targeting a receiver at 12 entirely reasonable if multiple quality prospects remain on the board. Edwards forecasts that Arizona State's Jordan Tyson will be available at 12 following an earlier wave of wideouts coming off the board. Tyson possesses many attributes Miami seeks in a true WR1. Standing 6'2" and weighing approximately 200 pounds, he combines size with athleticism, runs polished routes, and displays excellent body control paired with legitimate speed. His ability to attack defenses downfield while also operating effectively in intermediate and short zones gives him the versatility required of a #1 option in today's NFL. Whether Tua Tagovailoa remains under center or Miami transitions to a rookie quarterback, the offense desperately needs additional reliable weapons beyond Waddle. A rookie receiver with Tyson's diverse skill set would provide a dependable target at all 3 levels and reduce pressure on whoever plays quarterback, particularly if the team undergoes significant changes at the position. Assuming Tyson falls to 12 requires some optimism, but his abilities align perfectly with Miami's requirements if the opportunity materializes. The selection would immediately address a depleted receiving group while simultaneously securing a potential franchise WR1 for years to come. Tyson's collegiate numbers justify the early selection. During 2025, he caught 61 passes for 711 yards and 8 touchdowns across 9 games. His breakout campaign came in 2024, when he posted 75 receptions for 1,101 yards and 10 touchdowns over 12 contests, production that demonstrates both consistency and the ability to make game-changing plays. Meanwhile, speculation is swirling about a potential coaching change that could reshape the entire organization from the top down. Picture a scenario where both Miami and Pittsburgh decide to reset after this season concludes. Should the Dolphins dismiss Mike McDaniel while Mike Tomlin simultaneously parts ways with the Steelers? The coaching carousel could theoretically point Tomlin towards South Florida, a possibility Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox recently examined. Knox built his case around 2 factors: cap flexibility and lifestyle considerations. Miami could generate substantial salary cap space through strategic post-June 1 designations, while the warm climate and roster talent would present an appealing opportunity for a veteran coach accustomed to Pittsburgh's harsh winters. Granting the hypothetical that both organizations opt for fresh starts, Knox identifies Miami among the most suitable destinations for Tomlin, emphasizing both financial and personal motivators. The Dolphins' off-season cap management could produce available funds while simultaneously offering a high-profile platform suited to a coach of Tomlin's reputation. Knox highlights Miami's capacity to create cap relief by designating veterans for post-June 1 releases. His calculations suggest the Dolphins could free roughly $25 million by moving on from Tua Tagovailoa and veteran receiver Tyreek Hill using those designations, a sum that provides genuine roster-building flexibility. When combined with the prospect of trading Pittsburgh's brutal winters for South Florida sunshine, Knox contends the opportunity could prove compelling for a coach seeking a new challenge. Shifting our focus to the field, there's one player who's been quietly putting together a season that deserves far more recognition. Periodically, a non-quarterback produces a season so dominant that it forces debates about whether a passerless MVP is achievable. Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, and Saquon Barkley have all sparked those conversations. In 2025, Jonathan Taylor and Jackson Smith-Njigba have entered that discussion, but another elite campaign has received comparatively little attention. That campaign belongs to Devon Achane. Miami's explosive running back has elevated his game to stardom this season, combining elite speed with refined receiving ability and remarkable efficiency. Yet national recognition hasn't fully arrived. Anyone following the league closely knows Achane's name. His acceleration creates highlight reel moments in seconds. But 2025 represents a clear evolution. Achane has progressed from electric playmaker to legitimate superstar in Miami's backfield, even though broader recognition continues to lag behind his performance. Statistics validate the claim. Through 12 games, Achane has accumulated 186 carries for over 1,000 rushing yards, 5.6 yards per carry, added 54 receptions for 370 receiving yards, and scored 10 touchdowns. He ranks 3rd in the NFL in rushing yards despite only having the 11th most carries, an efficiency marker that underscores his productivity relative to opportunity. Achane's recent stretch has been extraordinary. He's rushed for at least 120 yards in each of his last 3 contests, and his performances have directly fueled Dolphins' victories. Advanced analytics confirm what the eye test suggests. Among running backs with at least 100 carries, he ranks in the top 10 for yards after contact per attempt and missed tackles forced per attempt, and he leads all ball carriers in explosive run rate, a combination of volume and game-breaking ability. Christian McCaffrey comparisons often center on functioning as an additional receiver. A-Chain's profile isn't identical, but he operates similarly within Mike McDaniel's system. Only 61.4% of his routes originate from the backfield, the lowest rate among backs running at least 100 routes this season. He aligns in the slot roughly 25% of the time and runs just over 12% of his routes from the perimeter. These alignment patterns prove that A-Chain isn't restricted to traditional running back usage. He executes genuine route concepts and consistently creates mismatches throughout the formation. Tua Tagovailoa has observed that A-Chain's versatility unlocks the offense in ways few backs can replicate. While names like Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, and Saquon Barkley routinely dominate discussions, A-Chain is quietly tracking toward an outstanding season, flirting with a 2,000-yard scrimmage total, and merits broader recognition. He may not be the most complete pure rusher across every metric, but the blend of explosive rushing, consistent efficiency, and legitimate pass-catching ability positions him among the NFL's elite backs right now. When listing the premier ball carriers this season, A-Chain's name should be included. The broader narrative simply hasn't caught up yet. At the same time, trade rumors have emerged linking Miami to a quarterback who could completely alter the franchise's direction. Nearly everyone connected to the Arizona Cardinals has formed a judgment about Kyler Murray's time with the franchise and what comes next. Arguments have intensified in the desert. Some maintain Murray never received adequate support in Arizona, while others believe 7 seasons provided sufficient evidence of his limitations. Jacoby Brissett's competent play during Murray's absence has injected another dimension into the quarterback conversation. Former Cardinals voices have joined the debate as well. With trade speculation building ahead of the offseason, former All-Pro safety Tyrann Mathieu suggested Murray might relocate to an AFC East team. During a conversation with Casino Beats, Mathieu offered his perspective on Murray's situation in Arizona. Mathieu, who played for the Cardinals from 2013 through 2017, indicated that a separation could benefit both player and organization. When questioned about potential destinations for Murray, Mathieu identified the Miami Dolphins as an intriguing fit. I think at the QB position, it's hard to find those guys that can kind of do it all. For him, a great team, I can see him with Miami, Mathieu told Casino Beats. He acknowledged that connections are often difficult to assess because he doesn't know Murray's exact priorities, but emphasized that a fresh start appears necessary. A relocation to South Beach would certainly generate significant attention. Murray would join an offense loaded with speed. Weapons like Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, and Tyreek Hill present an enticing group for any quarterback. With Mike McDaniel orchestrating the play calling, Murray's skill set could thrive in Miami. Mathieu's assessment is that departing Arizona makes sense for Murray's career trajectory. Often, it's not a bad thing to start over or restart. Go somewhere else to get a fresh breath. I think Kyler may need that. I think the Cardinals may need that. It's a lot of money they're paying him. He also suggested Arizona would benefit from a quarterback change, supporting the concept of a mutual reset. Any move to Miami would require a trade. Murray has demonstrated he can perform at a high level in the NFL, and the Cardinals could demand solid compensation in return. A significant obstacle. Acquiring teams would need to absorb the remaining 2 years of Murray's 5-year, $230.5 million contract signed in 2022. Miami could potentially manage that financial commitment. After all, the Dolphins gave Tua Tagovailoa a 4-year, $212 million extension in 2024, making Murray's salary structure fairly comparable. Any trade discussion would also involve draft compensation, contract structure, and Arizona's willingness to rebuild at quarterback. Packages combining draft picks, conditional protections, and customized guarantees would likely be negotiated. Ultimately, front offices must weigh on-field potential, locker room chemistry, and financial risk before executing such a significant move. Perhaps Mathieu's instinct is more perceptive than it initially appears. Would you want to see the Dolphins trade for Kyler Murray this offseason? Do you think he'd be an upgrade over Tua Tagovailoa? Or would swapping one expensive quarterback for another be a lateral move? Could Murray thrive in Mike McDaniel's offense with weapons like Waddle and Achane? Or is Tyrann Mathieu reading too much into this possibility? Leave a comment below with your thoughts on what we discussed. Don't forget, like and subscribe to join our fanbase and stay up to date. Let's grow stronger with Dolphins. Until next time.